Hey everyone, welcome back to part five of the trading challenge that I have going on from 160 to $1,000. And what I'll go over today is update on how this week is looking so far compared to last week. It's definitely interesting. I want to, tell you guys that right off the bat, it's definitely an interesting week. It's actually going better than I thought, but on top of that, what I also wanted to let you guys know or hear is a quote that I think you guys might like. Or actually, you guys might not like it. Most people might not like it, but it's the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. So, but moving through the truth is success, right? Moving through the truth is challenging, but it gets you from where you are to where you want to be or where you need to be. So from point A to B, based on this quote that I'm going to give you guys from Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, or not Trading in the Zone, The Disciplined Trader. I think you guys can, I would say, relate. I think everybody would relate to this. In fact, it's like a universal quote that we could all use, right, to get better. On top of that, quote aside, I'll get into TradeZilla, not really much to go over, and then I'll break down my ideas on what I'm gonna expect from the market this week. Sharing that with you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. In the meantime, I'll also have my link for my Discord down below, so you guys can also follow along and review my trading uh setups so that you guys have an idea on when I'm getting in and getting out of the market to capitalize or grow and scale my 160 to $1,000 account. So without further ado, I'll start with this quote. And this quote will be again by Mark Douglas, the Disciplined Trader. In this book, he says, it just makes sense that to function in the market environment effectively, you will need to make yourself accountable. Otherwise, how could you ever learn how to trade if you allow yourself to be swept into or out of something by forces outside of you and inside of you that you can't identify and don't want to? Question mark. I mean, I would definitely say, based on this quote, let me know what you guys think about it. But I'll tell you what I think about it. So the main piece that I got from this section of the book or section of the paragraph is that to function in the market environment effectively or successfully, you will need to make yourself accountable. So, my takeaway from this quote is holding yourself accountable requires a word that stems from the title. The title itself tells you that you need to be disciplined. You need to be a disciplined person to become a successful trader. It's in the quote, the disciplined trader. So accountability it derives from discipline. Um, so let's say you come up with a strategy and it's a mathematically sensible strategy that is obvious to make you profitable in the long run, taking one to threes, right? One to fives. Obviously, these are things that can lead to success as long as you hold yourself accountable and you you know you hold on, I think YouTube in the back. Okay, I had to stop that because it just all I heard was a YouTube video by somebody. But yeah, so that's pretty much, what I my takeaway is hold yourself accountable in the markets and you will see results. You will see positive results. You will see that equity curve from negative to positive in your trading journey as long as you function in the market environment effectively by holding yourself accountable. Again, let me know what you guys think. Um, Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And let's get into the screen share so I can show you guys, excuse me, my process for this week. I can show you guys, I'll explain to you guys both pros and cons. I really think that this, trading journey is actually see some improvement and not only in my system, but my patience. I can see that I'm more patient. I'm also holding myself accountable, more than I used to. And I want to say my biggest thing for this week so far has been patience. Let's say if it were before, honestly, I would have taken, I would say probably maybe 2 to like 5 trades from Sunday. But I've been more patient. I've been waiting for price to get to a certain price point. And if it doesn't get there, I'm not even gonna enter the trade. Like it has to make sense mathematically for me to enter the trade. Before I'd be like, I'm just gonna get in because, um, I think price would do this before it even does it, right? I would just anticipate that it's gonna do what I think it's gonna do before. But nowadays, I'm waiting for price to get to my price point that I want it to get to, so that it gives me a higher risk to low risk and a higher reward. So a lower risk with a higher reward, if that makes sense. So far, 3 trades, and and Monday's gone. Last week was 5 trades on a Monday plus 2 trades on a Sunday. So that means we were looking at 7 from, you know, Sunday to Monday. Now, if we were to calculate that, the difference between 7 and 3 is a 57% decrease. 57.14% decrease in the amount of trades that I've taken for the week so far. So as you can see, I mean, obviously, if there's more trade ideas that have presented themselves, then it would have given me more of a reason to enter. But so it is kind of situational. But I still want to acknowledge the pros, right? And that is a major pro. Regardless, I have been more patient, been more than 50% patient. Yes, I could have jumped into a few markets that I can actually show you in a second, this week, Sunday, Monday, but I chose not to because I prefer to get a lower risk with a higher reward. Also, I figured it's Monday or it's Sunday. I might as well, just wait until maybe Tuesday or Wednesday to see if price makes its way back to a more discounted rate so that I can either buy or sell. And that's still what I'm doing, right? I'm still waiting for the market to reach to a certain price point where I'm more comfortable with taking a lower risk with a higher reward. Because in my experience, I've seen that price I would get in, and then price maybe Tuesday or Wednesday would circle back and drop either lower or higher than my entry point, giving other people who are entering the same type of trade as me or entering the same, aiming for the same direction, the same TP, they're entering at better price points than me. And I entered maybe 1 or 2 days ago. So I'm I can see that my improvement is being more patient, and I believe that the patience that I'm acquiring, the patience that I'm accumulating over Sunday, Monday, maybe even Tuesday, that period, that sector throughout the week that I'm accumulating patience is seems like it's actually very helpful in terms of lowering my risk. giving me a potential higher reward, right? Or, so as you can see, I took a short on Nas. I got stopped out and I re-entered, got stopped out again. So you can see that I'm no longer doing the enter the trade, stopped out, 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 enter the trade, stopped out. Like I'm no longer entering a trade more than, re-entering more than once. The max that I'm gonna re-enter a trade is once. So if I get stopped out the first time, if as long as the opportunity seems like it was maybe a like a liquidity grab or whatever you want to call it, and hits my stop loss, then wants to continue to go into the direction that I anticipate, I'll only jump back in once if price does that, only if it makes sense. Because if it doesn't make sense, for example, GBP CHF, I traded it one time. You can see that I didn't hop back in because it didn't make sense for me to hop back in. It didn't give me a reason to hop back into the short and try and take price to where I think it's gonna go or I thought it was gonna go. So these are things that are helping, and which again, patience, right? You can see patience is there. You can see holding myself accountable by listening to my edge, and my edge is obviously low risk, high reward. My patience helps with low risk, high reward. And I would honestly just I wanna harp really on patience because I could have, taken several trades to act as if this GBP CHF trade was going to go in my direction. I could have also acted as if the Nasdaq trade was going to go in my favor and abuse, the um buttons on obviously, Trade Locker to enter. Oh, another update that I want to give you guys for this week is that I started off the week, I think around 130. Yeah, it was probably around 130. Obviously, the swap fees and stuff like that, commission that the broker took, it lowered my, you can see 224 commission. So I was at around 130, and then you can obviously see that today's L was 26. Being that I was around 130, I started off this week around 130. The L's that I accumulated over the day of Monday, they brought my equity down from the 130 it was at down all the way down to $100. So what I did was I threw $60 back in so that we can start back off fresh at 160 and then bring 160 up to 1000. So I want to make sure that you guys are also um kept in the loop. I don't want you guys to miss anything, so that's why I want to make sure you guys are, up to date on that. But as you can see, it's back at 160. It's actually 169, and obviously that's live. So, yeah, 169. So yeah, we're at 169 right now live, and we obviously anticipate on bringing this $160 account to 1,000. So stay tuned. And I'll start sharing my screen with for the progress tracker. It might be progress tracker. One of these sections are current period score, today's progress. Start my day by 9:30. I don't really know much about this. I should start looking more into this, but reports, you can see average hold time 6 hours 31 minutes. I really don't mind getting that number up. Max consecutive losses, 45 is ridiculous. Win rate is 19%. Not bad. Still could be profitable, but we're getting there. Max consecutive wins, 9. Um, Average daily net drawdowns, 1593. Largest net profit is 145. Now we have to scale this account. We have to. Well, this is I based on compared to the last video that I put out, right? Compared to last time when I put out part four, this is part five. So compared to the last video, I changed my watch list. So now this is what my watch list looks like, right? You can see that I wanted price to go lower than where we took a major buy, where the market pushed. So market around Sunday into Monday pushed from here. So around point 1.15294. Price on Euro USD made a push. And I had my alert set right here because I anticipate price to drop below this wick right here, which is on the 15-minute time frame. I just anticipate price dropping there, and I wasn't really interested in buying anything that wasn't below this price point. So I didn't enter Euro USD. I actually set order limits, and the order limits around here never got hit. So, excuse me. I mean, price broke structure when it, you know, seemed like it was going to create a newer high and hit the TP, but it didn't. But yeah, it looks like price obviously, broke structure. So it broke structure. It looks like it wanted to aim to the downside now and, take out Sunday, Monday's low and then possibly activate our order limit. But this trade idea, I actually sent it out in the Discord. So feel free to join up the Discord so that you can follow along with the process. Um, and with this area of interest, you can clearly see this is a 1 to 3 risk to reward. So with this being a 1 to 3 risk to reward, it obviously makes sense mathematically. Um, Next is BTC USD. So everyone knows that I wanted to take this trade this week, and it would have given us about a 1 to 10 risk to reward. Price did not hit the order limit that I had set, and there's a possibility that price can um still come to that area of interest, but I mean on the 30-minute time frame, price has see the 30-minute time frame. Price has I think price is still bullish on the 30-minute time frame, but who knows? Hopefully we can get price to come back to around 103,000. But in the meantime, we still have others, so not really too worried about it. We've got USD CHF, and I'm waiting for price to, you know, show us that it wants to push down, further down to create a lower low. Somewhere in this area, maybe if we look at the daily time frame, we can see that there's a solid daily structure right here. So that might be an area of interest. If we look at the 4 hour time frame, you can see that that was one, two, and then, obviously if you look more left, you can see there's a lot of consolidation. So who knows, maybe price could come up here and hopefully give us something to work off of so that we can take price lower. Until then, we're still going to wait. Now, if you look at US 30, I'm still waiting for US 30 to give us I mean, this is not a bad price to I mean, this wasn't bad either, but honestly, I mean, we're realistically in Asian session right now, and normally Asian session, especially on US 30, gets wiped out. So I anticipate that, if we look left, we can see that this is typically an important price point. So you can see around 42,000 and like 200. it's gotten touched more than once or wicked more than once. So you can see, I would say 2000, 42,220. So this is definitely an important key level right here. I would anticipate price to at least come down to this level right here. So what I'll do is set my alert so that I know when prices touch that point, and then we can get a solid 1 to 3 and then take price up for a newer high. So I might put out a order limit and post it in the Discord. So if you guys want to look out for that, then also you can see CAD JPY 15-minute time frame still bullish, so I wouldn't really be surprised if price pushes higher, but I also wouldn't be surprised if price breaks, structure, or creates a market structure shift. So creates a market structure shift to aim, to take out these right here. Would not be surprised. Then we have GBP NZD. So with GBP NZD, I don't expect to trade this, honestly. Now that I'm looking at it, it really doesn't make any sense. And I mean, I was looking at this on Sunday or Monday, I believe, but unfortunately, I didn't take it. This would have been a really good, risk to reward, but unfortunately, I didn't take it, and kind of upset that I didn't take it. But I think what had me low key confused was seeing this, but obviously that happens. I know I'm not the first who's looked at that, you know. I'm sure a lot of people got wicked out from that too, but I mean, it seems like it would have been a solid trade, especially catching this on like Sunday or Monday, but I think the spread honestly was bad, which is probably why I literally just didn't want to trade it. It was probably the spread, but then again, like during London session, I could have caught somewhere here, so this is another reason why like I could still get better at my at spotting stuff. This could have been an easy 1 to 4, but you live and you learn. So I'm not looking at the trade for this week, and this is another trade that I would sit out, and I'm gonna make this red. Now we're at gold. So gold is clearly making its way to our area of interest. Once price gets to our area of interest, we'll wait to see some signs on when we should enter and potentially take price for a 1 to 6 or 1 to 7. Um AUD CAD, I'm waiting still for price to push up in an area of interest. You can see there's so many. If we look at the daily, there's one respected area of interest, two respected area of interest, three respected, about four. I would count that as four areas of interest on the daily time frame. Then you have GBP JPY. With GBP JPY, obviously we're bullish. And since we're bullish on the daily time frame, we're going to go down to the 4 hour time frame. If we're also bullish on the 4 hour time frame, we're looking for a retracement. If we don't get the retracement and there's just continuation throughout the week, then I'll just disregard it. I'm not really worried about it since we have so many other opportunities to think about. I want to just think about GBP JPY, especially if it's nowhere near our area of interest as of the moment. Then the daily on USD CAD is bearish, and the 4 hour time frame is also bearish. With that being said, I am looking for this to be getting taken out. I don't expect this high to be taken out, but I do expect for price to go from here to wherever once right here, ultimately push up into our area of interest, taking this high out and coming back down to our creating a potential lower low. So that's what I expect from the markets this week. Um, Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of my markups. Let me know what you guys think of the quote. Again, the quote was based off of accountability, and with the right accountability for yourself in the markets, I mean, breathing success in the markets just based off of accountability for yourself is clearly challenging, but it will likely provide, produce you with the results that you're looking for, just based off of accountability. So holding yourself accountable and obviously choosing the right setups that logically make sense, um, and doing that on a consistent basis. So that's my take on the quote. Let me know what your take on the quote is. Again, like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord so that you can, be up to date on this trading journey. We're back at 160 um on the live account. So that's where we're at right now. It's Monday. Again, patience has been a major thing this week. So I encourage you guys to be patient as well with your trades, as I will continue doing with my trades. Um, Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.